Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, this School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2018 season. So, we kicked off yesterday, a bit sleepy, a bit tired, after a long weekend, with this really cool conversion, Porygon kind of my take on FakePG team. So, we're going to kick back on to the Battle Spot ladder today. Hopefully have a good couple of games, maybe 3 depending on what we get through. And kind of explore the team a little bit more. Again, just keep your opinions and thoughts coming on what you think of the team. And as I always say, if you've got suggestions and things you want to see played on the channel, let me know, and I will put them into action. But onto that a bit more later, because we have our first opponent of the day, and they are running a team of Torkoal, Snorlax, Tapu Lele, Mimikyu, Hariyama, and Metagross. I need to remember that one. So, what we're going to do here, we've got a hard Trick Room team, obviously, with the Tapu Lele and Metagross being the kind of, I'd say, more offensive, faster mode of the team. Metagross taking advantage of the Psychic Terrain, but you can't discount it from being part of that Trick Room core as well, with the Mimikyu there being the main Trick Room user behind that. So, what do we do here? We do have Gigalith. It's going to be quite handy to kind of disrupt the sun, so maybe we do want that. Cortana here is going to be quite nice, I think. I don't know how good the conversion's probably going to be quite good, so we'll go with the conversion. Maybe lead P2 Cortana. Let's bring Tapu Fini. Yeah, and Gigs. Big bad Gigs, I think. How does that seem? Yeah, let's lock in with it. Let's see how we get on. And Torkoal's quite an interesting Pokemon, especially at the minute. And it's won a regional in Bremen over the weekend, and it won one over in the States not so long ago as well. I need to turn my light up. Is it up? It is up. So it is kind of picking up a little bit more usage than we saw towards the end of last season, where it kind of fell off after, I'd say, February, March time, after the Brazil Internationals, where Ashton won with that Torkoal there. So anyway, more onto it later, because we'll concentrate on this match. So we see my opponent leading off with Mimikyu Metagross, so we can quite happily just go for the Z conversion, because what you've got to imagine is that the Metagross here is probably an explosion variant. So if we can get the conversion off before the Metagross attacks, which we should do, we should be fine. We're not going to be able to stop the Trick Room going up, but do we just go for a substitute maybe with our Cortana? Yeah, just to take that explosion damage. So there's the sub from our Cortana. We are going to get our conversion up before anything else can move. So if this Metagross does go for that explosion, I only say that because it's sitting next to a ghost type, and you know the Trick Room will be coming. So it kind of make a lot of sense if that was the strategy. If it is, it means we get away scot-free from this turn, no explosion damage really, and there it is. So Cortana's sub going to be able to take this, and Porygon 2 is not affected by it at all. You know, we might have been better off going for a Leaf Blade into the Mimikyu there, just to break its disguise, because it is going to go for the Trick Room here. But if it does, and if we see the Torkoal come in, then it's fine, because we've got the Gigalith in the back, so we're not in dire straits just yet. And there's the Torkoal. So, a nice shiny little turtle. And it will bring the sun with it. But what we'll do, like I said, we're gonna we do need to be a bit careful now, because you know the Mimikyu can hit a P2 for good damage with its ghost type attacks. I'm gonna go for a Shadow Ball into the Torkoal, and I'm gonna switch out Cortana into Gigalith. Just change that sun, get rid of that big sun boost that the Torkoal will be kind of benefiting from at the minute. So there's the eruption from the Torkoal. See what the damage is like. P2 able to take that. Not too bad. And a play rough coming out. So maybe the Mimikyu hasn't got a ghost type attack. We are going to get a Shadow Ball off. This should do really good damage to the Torkoal, yeah. And this next turn, what I'm going to do is just go for a Rock Slide, break the disguise, hopefully, on the Mimikyu, and take down the Torkoal. And I'm just going to recover with P2 as well. And yeah, let's just go for that Rock Slide. There's just another Eruption, but this is going to be doing very minimal damage to both my Pokemon here. We are going to get the Rock Slide off with Gigalith, which should take down the Torkoal. And like I say, break that disguise on the Mimikyu. We might see Shadow Claw here. I wouldn't discount it not having it, but it does flinch. We get away with that, so that's quite good. And we're going to get a nice juicy recovery off with our P2. And we'll see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. Maybe the Hariyama, but it is the Snorlax. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for Shadow Ball into Mimikyu, and I'm going to go for a Curse with Gigalith. You've got to imagine that the Snorlax is probably a Curse variant as well. Might not be though. It might be a Belly Drum variant. We'll soon find out though. Snorlax going for a Belly Drum. So this is perfect because the next turn that we are slower than it with our Gigalith. If it hasn't got high horsepower, it can't touch our P2. And all we need to do really is just stall the... ooh, it's a Psych Up from the Mimikyu. But that's not going to matter because we're going to get the Shadow Ball into it and pick up the KO. What I was saying was we just need to stall out the Trick Room turns and get Kartana in. Even alongside the Tapu Fini, we'll be able to take it out quite easily, so it should be fine. So I think we've got, is it 2 more turns of Trick Room or 1 more turn? Maybe 1 more. Let's just double check. Yeah, this is going to be the last turn of Trick Room. So I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam with P2, and I'm going to go for a Stone Edge with Gigalith and get some damage onto it while I can. There's the Stone Edge, does hit, and +1 doing some nice damage as well. And there's a high horsepower into Giggles, which does take us down, but the Ice Beam might even be enough here from P2. And like I say, we've got the Kartana in the back, so we don't really need to worry with the Trick Room ending now. This game is over. So we're not even going to feature Finny this game. We'll just bring in Kartana. We should be able to clean up pretty quickly here. And there we go. So my opponent just forfeiting, and we take our first game of the episode. So that's a pretty good start. Very good game to my opponent. But I think we managed the field well, managed the Trick Room well enough, and you know, as popular as Torkoal is getting, I think if you can manage the threats like Lilligant, it could potentially be quite threatening because it's an instant fast mode there. If you've got a way around that, then Gigalith does a really good job against the majority of all the other weathers that are available in the format, just because of how slow it is. And you know, it threatens ice types with its rock type stabs, it threatens the fire types with its rock type stabs, Pelipper with its rock type stabs, so it does a really good job. So it's kind of a really good anti-weather Pokemon, and as we've seen there, it does a really good job even in a Trick Room. So we will move on to our next match, next opponent, and see if we can kind of continue on this good form that we've got at the minute. So we've got our next opponent. They're running a team of Porygon 2, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Kartana, Gigalith, and Arcanine. So we've definitely got a Trick Room switch in here with the P2 and the Gigalith, which is probably what my opponent thinks we've got in our team, which is the more common variant. You know, the Trick Room with P2 and then the Gigalith under Trick Room taking advantage of that. You've got the fast mode with the Cortana, possibly the Tapu Lele. You know, you can't discount it being Scarfed, maybe Specs, or even Life Orbed. Arcanine providing the Intimidate support there, and interestingly enough, we've got another Ultra Beast and another Steel type that gives my opponent just a different option outside of Cortana with that Celesteela, giving it their team a bit of ground immunity where it otherwise is lacking that. So, what do we do against this team? Arcanine's going to be really good here, especially just with the Intimidate, I think. So I might want to bring Arcanine. Well, we could just go down the route of Tapu Fini Cortana here. Bring out Arcanine. And a Gigalith maybe. And that might not be a bad... but do we want... We're kind of relying on Arcanine to do a lot of work here. But saying that, we do have the Sock strategy that we can kind of fall back on where we're not bringing Togedemaru, so... we're just going to have to play very carefully with Cortana here, because you've got a lot of threats that can hit it for very good damage. So Celesteela, the opposing Cortana, the opposing Arcanine. So you see my opponent lead off with Gigalith and Cortana, and we're going to lead off with our own Cortana. And that's Tapu Fini. So, let's think. Now we could just switch in Arcanine for Fini. We could double into Cortana, expecting maybe... But I think we're probably being safer, just switch in Arcanine for Tapu Fini and go for a Leaf Blade, maybe into the Gigalith slot. We could go for a Sacred Sword into the opposing Cortana, which might not be a bad idea. But I'll go for a Leaf Blade into the Gigalith here. So we will switch Fini out. Keep that terrain for later on in the game if we need it. If we see that Tapu Lele come in, we're going to get an Intimidate off with Arcanine onto the opposing Gigalith and Cortana. And there's a Gigalith withdrawn. We're going to see Arcanine, yeah. My opponent just getting the Intimidate back onto us. We do get a Leaf Blade and that Speed Tie onto the Arcanine. Do a little bit of chip damage. And we see a Sacred Sword into our Cortana. We do know our Arcanine is probably faster than my opponent's here. I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz into the opposing Cortana, and I'm going to switch in Tapu Fini back in on my Cortana slot. You've got to imagine the Cortana either protects here, switches out. If it's sashed, it may stay in just to fancy winning the Speed Tie against our Cortana and get another Sacred Sword off, but I don't know how likely that is. Cortana just protects. And there's a Flare Blitz from our Arcanine and a Will-O-Wisp. But because of the Misty Terrain, we aren't affected by that Will-O-Wisp. So, I think we just go for the Flare Blitz into the Cortana, and we just go for a Hydro Pump into the Arcanine, because that will be enough to take it down. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kind of call the bluff here. Cortana withdraws, so Gigalith coming back in, which is fine, because we should be taking this Arcanine down with a Hydro Pump, which we do connect. And Arcanine going down, which is nice. And we'll get a bit of chip damage onto this Gigalith with the Flare Blitz. So, did we see the Cortana come back onto the field now? Maybe expect it to come back in. But it is a Tapu Lele. Okay. Because we could Help in Hand. One option we've got is Help in Hand Hydro Pump into the Gigalith. It's a bit risky though, because if the Protect comes out there, we're kind of wasting both attacks into that slot. We can't really afford to lose Arcanine with Cortana still in the back, so we might be better off just withdrawing Arcanine and bring in our Gigalith and go for a Hydro Pump into the Gigalith slot. And just bring Gigalith in to kind of soak up a Psychic, which is potentially into that slot, you've got to imagine. And there's a Psychic, so it is actually Choice Scarf Tapu Lele. We are going to survive that, get our Hydro Pump off into the Gigalith, do decent enough damage, but we are going to see a big Continental Crush come out from this Gigalith. This will probably be into our Gigalith, you would imagine, to take down the potential Arcanine that was in that slot there. Yeah. Still does a chunk of damage, doesn't it? We really need to try and get rid of this Psychic terrain though. I'm going to go for Stone Edge into the Lele, and I'm going to switch in Arcanine for Finny. And it looks like we've got a sub on our thing. I need to knock those notifications off while we're doing our School of Hard Knocks, so sorry about that, guys. But I don't think this is looking too great right now. We do get the Intimidate onto the Gigalith, which is a bit more important than the Lele at the minute for Arcanine. See Psychic come out. Hopefully this is... oh, it's into the Gigalith. Okay. And a Heavy Slam. Okay. That's definitely not the worst thing in the world. The Sandstorm does subside. Do we bring in Cortana? Maybe. Tapu Fini. Let's bring in... I think we bring in Cortana maybe. Let's switch Arcanine out for Cortana. This is difficult. But I don't know if we'll be able to take a Psychic. That's the only problem. Because we could go for a Bloom Doom into the Lele, switch in our Finny for Arcanine. And hope that we take the Psychic from this range. I really don't think we're going to be able to, even if the Psychic terrain isn't on the field. I don't know if we'll be able to take a Psychic. And you've got to imagine that the Lele does target into that Kartana slot. And there's a Psychic. No, we don't. And I think that is game. Yeah. We're going to see a Rock Slide. This is a little bit disappointing, but my opponent's played it really well, and I think we've just tried to kind of maneuver around board positions when we just don't have the utility to kind of do that. We probably need to be a bit more bold with our predictions earlier on in the game. So we've got Arcanine versus the World now. There isn't really much we can do. I'll go for a Flare Blitz into the Lele, but we're probably just going to take a double target attack with Psychic and a Rock Slide, and Arcanine will go down, unfortunately. So what we would have, like, just from that damage there, what we would have been better off doing was, instead of bringing the Kartana in that first turn, after Gigalith went down, we would have been better off bringing the Finny in, just getting the Misty Terrain up, and then utilising Arcanine to try and get rid of the Tapu Lele. But never mind. I think it would have been a lot, we would have had a better chance of actually taking the game if we'd done that. And then once the Lele is gone, it does depend what my opponent, is going for with these other Pokemon. It wouldn't have just been as clear cut as that, but it would have, I think, give us a better option to kind of close the game down. But never mind. Good game to my opponent, and let's do one more, because I kind of feel like I want to do at least one more. I feel a little bit disappointed with that one, just from our side of things. But I guess at the same time, we're still kind of learning how the team plays against certain cores and things like that, and Scarf Tapu Lele is something that we need to be a bit more aware of and just have a bit of a better game plan going in against it. So let's jump straight back on the ladder and have one more, and hopefully we've got a bit of time spare, because we did have a bit of a shorter episode yesterday, but I'm sure you guys won't mind if we have one more game. Maybe the thing with Finny is as well, because the EV spread I've got on the Finny at the moment, I'm running a modest. It's pretty much to near well, it's not max special attack, but modest max speed. Because with the Scarf, that allows you outspeed like Adamant max speed, Ferromonster and things like that. Gives you a little bit of bulk and enough attack investment to normally KO things like Persian, some variants of Garchomp as well with Moonblast. So it might be worth looking at going Timid, speeding up, so we can get the jump on at least modest Scarf Tapu Leles, because that would be a huge help. But something to think about as well. But we have our next opponent, and they are running a team of Gastrodon, Garchomp, Tapu Koko, Arcanine, Celesteela, and Mandibuzz. So we've got the Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Arcanine, Garchomp core here with kind of tagged in Mandibuzz and Gastrodon. So I don't know if we want to use our Soak strategy here, because it will be disrupted by that Storm Drain from the Gastrodon. But we could go for our conversion strategy here, which might not be a bad plan at all. I think I want Togedemaru, just because of the Tapu Koko. If we got Arcanine, so the Intimidate's going to be good here. It's going to be strong against the Celesteela, and then do we bring Kartana or Tapu Fini to disrupt the terrain? I'm kind of gonna sway more towards the Tapu Fini because I don't know if my opponent will bring the Gastrodon with Cortana being such a big presence in the team. Maybe, but maybe not as well. So if they do, we've got ways around it. So it's not like we'll just be dead in the water. And if it is a toxic variant, we do have our Tapu Fini with the Misty Terrain to kind of help us against that. So we're going to lead off with Togedemaru and Porygon 2. And we see my opponent lead off with Tapu Koko and Celesteela. So we do get a download boost in special attack, which is massively helpful for us. I'm just going to go straight for that Z conversion with Porygon 2, and I'm going to go for a fake out into the Celesteela here. So I don't really mind what the Tapu Koko goes for. I can't go for any big electric type attacks as long as Togedemaru is on the field. So might go for a discharge though, which is probably what's coming out now. So you do get the fake out into Gastrodon, do a little bit of chip damage to it, and a Volt Switch. Okay, that is interesting. So Togedemaru is Lightning Rod ability, just going to suck that right up. And we are going to get this conversion attack off with our Porygon 2 turn into Ghost type attack. And get those nice tasty boosts right across the board. So I think here what I will do is problem here is the Gastrodon is likely going to go for a I would imagine it goes for a Toxic now into the P2. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball into it, and I can't imagine Coco going for another electric type attack, so I'm going to switch Togedemaru out, get the Misty Terrain up, so we're kind of protected against those Toxics and stuff like that. And then if Tapu Koko does decide to switch out to come back in later, at least we've got Togedemaru in the back, so we can do that as and when we want. And with the Shadow Ball on +2 from the Porygon 2, we should be doing some good damage to this Gastrodon. So there's the Togedemaru withdrawal. We're going to bring in Fini. Overwrite the electric terrain, get the Misty Surge up. So Tapu Koko just going for that protect there. And we'll see what this Gastrodon goes for. Get a Shadow Ball into it. And ooh, an Earthquake. Okay. So that is interesting. So I can just quite happily go for another Shadow Ball into the Gastrodon. I'm just going to switch Tapu Fini back out into Togedemaru, because it's likely that Tapu Koko might feel like it wants to go for an electric type attack here. Although it might just withdraw into Celesteela. It can sit beside that Gastrodon while it does try and go for those Earthquakes. But we'll see what my opponent decides to do and whether he sees through this. So Gastrodon withdrawing, saving it for later. Celesteela going to come back in. And there's just a Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Koko. It does decent enough damage onto the P2. We do get a Shadow Ball off into Celesteela. Doing really good damage. And now I'm just going to go for... I'm going to imagine that Tapu Koko maybe goes for a recover here. I'm just going to go for a fake out into the Celesteela and just recover with P2. I don't want to let P2 go down too much with its health. So if we let it go down too much, you know, it can fall into critical hit range from something, or something faster coming in that can hit it for really good damage can really just take advantage of that. So I want to kind of try and keep it as healthy as possible. Do you see the Arcanine come in for the Tapu Koko, get an Intimidate off onto both our Pokemon? It's going to be more important for the Togedemaru here, really. Get a fake out into the Celesteela, which will stop it moving this turn, and we'll get that recover off with P2. But we're in a nice position now where we could probably just... Do we double into the Celesteela to stop it getting a Leech Seed off onto P2? That's the thing, but we lose Togedemaru doing that, which isn't brilliant. So we could potentially just switch Togedemaru out. We're probably safer doing this, switching Togedemaru out for Arcanine, getting Intimidate off onto both Pokemon on the field, keeping Togedemaru around for later on in the game when that Tapu Koko decides to come back in, and just getting a Shadow Ball onto the Celesteela to get some bigger damage onto it. But you've got to imagine the Celesteela probably goes for a Leech Seed into the P2. But we don't see that. We're just going to go for a Protect here, which works out a little bit better for us, really. And we see a Flare Blitz from Arcanine into the P2. That's a big damage. Okay. So even Intimidated and then +1 defense, it feels like it could be, you know, a banded Arcanine even. We'll go for a Recover here. We can quite happily just go for a Flare Blitz into the Celesteela with our Arcanine, which should be in range now. We've not got any worries about Intimidates coming in. And even this Gastrodon coming in is going to take probably enough damage for it to go down the next turn to a Flare Blitz again. We do get a Recover off with P2. We see another Flare Blitz come out from the opposing Arcanine, which you've got to imagine has to be a banded one. And we'll get our own Flare Blitz. But we do proc a berry. Okay. And the Misty Terrain does disappear from the field. I am just gonna be super cautious of a Toxic from this Gastrodon. I'm just gonna switch my Arcanine out, Recover with my P2, and switch it in my Finny to stop any Toxics coming out onto our Porygon 2, but it looks like we might just see an Earthquake come out from the Gastrodon. We are going to get this Misty Terrain back up. And there's just the Earthquake. Okay. Do I just double into Celesteela now? I'm just going to double into it with a Moonblast and a Shadow Ball. The combination of both hopefully will be enough to take it down. No Protect coming out. So, let's see. Yeah, it should be. The Shadow Ball should take it, and let's see. Unless we got an extremely high roll before, but there should be enough. Yeah, that's enough. So the Celesteela is gone now. Gastrodon going for a Scald. Maybe expecting a switch there. And what we're going to see with Tapu Koko come in. So I'm just going to Shadow Ball into the Gastrodon, switching Togedemaru. I mean, the Shadow Ball should be enough from that range, this range, with the Gastrodon is in, to take it down. And the Tapu Koko is not really being too much of a threat, especially with the Togedemaru out in the field, kind of forced to go for those Dazzling Gleams rather than the electric type attacks. But finally showing that discharge that we thought it had earlier on in the game. So it's going to do a decent amount of damage. Hopefully we don't see any paralysis come out, which we don't. We do get the Shadow Ball off into the Gastrodon. Hopefully this is enough to take it down. Just manages to hang on, and we see a Scald come out into P2. Right, I think I just go for a Shadow Ball into Gastrodon and just fake out into the Tapu Koko here. Because you haven't seen this Gastrodon protect yet, I don't think. Tapu Koko just withdrawing. Arcanine going to come in. And there's the fake out from Tapu Togedemaru. And the Shadow Ball going to pick up the KO on the Gastrodon here. So my opponent now down to his last two Pokemon, Tapu Koko and the Arcanine. But we do outspeed the Arcanine with a Porygon 2. And we should be able to pick up the KO onto it if it's a more offensive variant with the Shadow Ball. And I'm just going to Spiky Shield with Togedemaru. Actually, we could probably just go for Zing Zap. Yeah, let's go for Zing Zap into the Koko. We don't really need to protect here. There's a Volt Switch. Togedemaru going to suck that up with its Lightning Rod ability. We will get the Shadow Ball off next with P2. Like I said, if it's more offensive variant, like I kind of expected to, this should take it down, which it does. And we should be able to do some decent damage with the Zing Zap, and then P2 is going to be left to kind of clean this game up, as it's kind of dominated the whole field after that conversion boost. Obviously with help from its partnering Pokemon, Togedemaru, namely Arcanine and Tapu Fini as well. We've just seen another discharge. P2 should take this. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so it's a bit unfortunate, but not the worst thing in the world. So we do get the Zing Zap off on Koko. And we'll be able to just bring in Arcanine now and go for an extreme speed and pick up the KO. Such a shame. I really wanted P2 to kind of clean up there, but you know, can't have it all, I guess. So we'll just go for that extreme speed and a Zing Zap, and that should be game here. And very good game to my opponent. So at least we end a little bit better than we had that game in the middle. I think I was just super disappointed about how we kind of approached that, kind of handled it in game. And you know, you get into those situations where you think I just need one more game just to kind of put that to bed and see if we can just improve on that, and we did. But let's from that game too, let me know your thoughts. It's definitely something I kind of probably need to address a little bit more within the team, and how I kind of set up against big threats like that. You know, the Scarf Tapu Lele does throw a bit of a spanner in the works, and if you don't bring the right Pokemon to kind of adjust your board position to get rid of the psychic terrain and things like that, then it starts to get really difficult. And that's one of the beauties about Scarf Tapu Lele, I guess, is that once it's out and it's in its psychic terrain, it can just start throwing out the psychics here, there and everywhere, and anything that it is hitting is going to be doing huge damage to. So you need to be able to have something to manage it. So it's something that we need to look at possibly going forward. But overall, we've had some good games today. So very good game to all my opponents, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home. So it's been a lot of fun playing this team so far this week. Do keep your opinions of the team, that's the word I'm looking for, coming in. I do love to hear what you guys think of the team. If you've got suggestions and things, or questions about anything that we've kind of unveiled so far in the episodes this week, do let me know. But as I always say, if you've got Pokemon you want to see, calls you want to see, strategies you want to see played on this series, do let me know, because I really want to provide you guys with content that you're going to find more useful, and maybe seeing some calls, seeing certain Pokemon played a bit more frequently will benefit you guys. So let me know, because it's definitely something I want to do more with the channel, and as we're gearing up more into the new VGC season, it's probably a good idea to do that as well. So do let me know. But we'll be back tomorrow, guys, with another episode of the School of Hard Knocks and a QR code. So do stay tuned for that. As I say, we haven't got a best of 3 battle this week, which is a bit unfortunate. It's just down to scheduling issues that I've had myself, and my opponents that I've got lined up have as well. So it's just one of those things, but it'll hopefully kind of build up the anticipation for it coming back next week, which will be a lot of fun. We will have a stream this week, so the stream will be over on our Twitch channel at 8 o'clock Thursday evening UK time, so 8 p.m. UK time. We will have a stream on Thursday night over on Twitch channel. As I say, it is linked in the banner of the channel's website. There's a little Twitch button there. You can just click that and it'll bounce you over to the Twitch channel, and it's linked in the description below if you guys want to check it out and any of the streams that we've already done. But that's about it. Thanks as always, guys, for tuning in. Had an absolute blast. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As always, if you have, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe so you stay up to date with all of our daily content and all of that sort of jazz. And we'll be back for an episode tomorrow. So have a great night, guys. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, as always. And I will see you all tomorrow, bright and breezy, for another School of Hard Knocks on Wednesday. So until then, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. So until then, bye-bye!